This is Overtime, a weekly moment of off-the-cuff commentary on everything from sports and politics to observations about everyday life from NFL All-Pro Carl Lee. Welcome to Overtime.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk, and I have Hollis Lewis here with me. We're going to do a quick Overtime segment and talking about the emotional side of athletes, especially when there are negative things take place. And the way the system is now, Hollis, you're getting a lot of teams getting blown out, whether it be high school, college, and even sometimes in the pros, you see that. And as a fan, you just look at your team won or your team really got beat, but you don't understand maybe what is going on and how does that feel? And I'll even take it a little bit further, Hollis. Again, being at Marshall, having and I'm going to call it a luxury and a benefit to have played at Marshall during a very difficult time and losing a lot of games and losing some by huge scores. The question becomes, if you're that player, if you're trying to be that player, and you have the courage to stay, and you want to stay. I think there's a huge benefit and lesson to you if your plans are going to that next level, whether it's middle school to high school to college to pro. There's a lesson there that I think is something that we don't realize, because this is something that you can take into your life in your life personally in handling challenging things. Yeah. I think losing football games, in sports, I think losing those games and being able to come back, go back to practice, go back, start square one and work hard again. And maybe you lose again. You go back, you work hard, and you lose again. Somewhere in that line, you're going to eventually get that win. But not if you quit. Not if you emotionally can't handle that. So I don't know if you've experienced any of that in your own life as far as through the sports realm. But if you have, tell us a little bit about what was that like emotionally? Well, at State. Yeah.
I think emotionally, it was, to your point, you're going to take your lumps and you're going to try to get back up and practice harder and try to win the next game. I think that what we're seeing now as far as in college athletics and even high school athletics is that it's almost, I don't think those lessons can be learned the way they were once learned, because now it's almost like a competitive disadvantage. So if I know that I'm at a high school where all my top talent has transferred out and I am the remnant, I'm the remaining of what's left at that high school, for example, South Charleston, they no matter how hard they played, they were not going to be competitive against those other teams. So I think when you're talking about emotionally, if you're in a space where you can compete and those guys just happen to be better than you on that day, or they just had some, they got coached up better, whatever, then you can kind of take that. But, if you're at basically you're a JV team playing this almost prep school type of team,
yes, right, then
emotionally it's kind of one of those things where you're really going to see what's what and who's who as far as how they can emotionally handle it, because I don't know what you can do when you got to get up for that or try to get up for that game, So emotionally, I don't really know how these kids handle that, to be honest with you.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to need you to probably clean it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that – I think part of the issue is that the parents can't handle it.
Parent on what side?
On the losing side. If that parent's watching their kid playing, and it's a total disadvantage. Again, we'll go back to South Charleston. And South Charleston against teams that have recruited their kids and they're playing against them and the score is just out of control. Yeah. And they're wanting to keep putting points up, right?
Yeah.
if you're the parent in that particular situation, I think you get mad at the other team.
Yeah, for sure.
That other place where the team is trying to be okay, they're trying not to go too far, but you're just not good enough. You just don't have, like you said, you just don't have enough Jimmys and Johns, and you just don't. And they can't even help themselves from scoring.
I mean, we watched 2 games together. We seen when they played Hurricane, South Charleston. That is, South Charleston play hard.
Yeah,
they really did. They played as hard as they can play, but they could not compete.
And I remember, I've been down on the sideline or down on the track, and I've seen some guys who I had coached and they've come over and they're literally crying. And you think about what they've put in, the work that they've put in, and maybe they're just still not good enough, or they just don't have enough other players around them to be beneficial to help them. Mm-hmm. And then you have to try to figure out what the parent's thinking, because what if that's the parent who's saying, we got to get out of here. We got to take our kids somewhere else because he's got to be able to play on a team that can compete. Does that change? And maybe the kid doesn't want to go. What is that to the kid? Like, what is that emotion? Because to me, I'm like, no, Mom, this is my team. Like, I would have never, like, no one could have talked me out of leaving Marshall, even though we weren't winning. And I don't know where that kind of loyalty and that kind of mindset for me came into.
I think it's a difference in not winning and not being able to compete. I think those are 2 different things. Like, for example, the reason I said I may not understand the emotions of a South Charleston or Capital or Riverside of those teams is because no matter what team I was ever on, from middle school to high school, we had some winning years, a lot of losing years. But I never felt like I was playing a higher level team. I never felt like, well, we the JV team and dressing up as varsity and we really playing as varsity team. I always felt like we were able to be competitive. There was one instance in my whole, maybe 2 instances. We played Western Carolina. We was at state. That was a tough game. But even in that game, I feel like, we could have competed better. If we played them again, the score would be different. And one time in high school, we played Bluefield. I think they were just heads and above better athletes than we were. But outside of those 2 just instances, I never felt like competitively this team was just superior to me. And I think that now that's what we've sort of created when we talk about the transfer, not like you said, not just high school, but we're talking about college as well. So I don't know. To me, it's easy to say, well, I wouldn't leave, but if I have 4 more years of this, and I know that this team is just not going to be competitive, I'm just me as a parent, I may explore different options I just want to be on a competitive organization.
See, and again, I don't know if I even had that mindset because it wasn't something that was available back in the day. No one talked about it.
Not.
Now in college, you could transfer to somewhere else if you wanted, but you weren't guaranteed.
But in all your years playing, even in college, would you say, Marshall, y'all were competitive? Y'all just lost.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't really competitive. What was
the scores? I mean, was it like
we played UT Chattanooga? It could have easily been a 40-50 to something. I need to go back and look up what those scores were, but they felt ugly. You know what I'm saying? They felt ugly.
I guarantee it wasn't 90s and 60s.
No, it's definitely
and 70s.
no. There was definitely no 90s and 60s and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But back in the day, though, 30 to 7 was a blowout.
Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, put it in context.
And so all of that now, to me, I'm trying. My reason for the conversation was like, it has to be hard. It has to be challenging for a player to be on a team and know that it's going to be a challenging season because we don't have a bunch of seniors.
I mean, bro, it's challenging to score.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about winning.
So,
we may not win a bunch, but at least we can maybe put up some points. I mean, what we've seen at a lot of these teams in the Valley, it's hard to score a point. It's hard to get defensive stops. And I think when you have a situation like that, that has to be draining mentally. You know, by the third, fourth, fifth game, you have to be like looking up, when is the season over? That's just punishing. That's just,
and there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a football player, basketball player, baseball player, track guy, girl, be in the season.
And when is it over?
And hoping that it's over.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough because, like you said, it's just like it's different if we're going back and forth. We losing games 30-60, or we losing games, 40-50, or we losing games 28-21. We're in everything. My senior year, we went 1-9, but it was every game we was in. It's 28-40. It's 30-28. It's that sort of thing. We never really got blown out.
Right.
So it was always a competitive. We're a play away.
Right.
But to like South Charleston, I don't know how mentally you deal with that. I don't know.
And you have to play.
And you got to play.
At least hopefully you have enough to play.
Yeah.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we just wanted to give you we don't have the answer to that one.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it is something to think about, and especially if you have that child that's playing, I think it's worth a conversation of what do you feel like after these games?
Yeah.
I'm not because I'm sold on not leaving. Okay, no matter how bad it is, but I think that there needs to be some form of conversation and communication to understand that this is how this season could be, and you need to play as hard as you can every single down to do the best you can do. And the
thing is, I'm not for participation awards necessarily, but I think if you're in that situation like a South Charleston, you need it's something
you deserve something.
You deserve something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's something that you deserve just for sticking it out.
I'm with you. And then we'll fight the people on the top of it that are creating the bad situation. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it, and we'll be back to you soon. All righty.
The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. Contact Carl Lee on email, letstalkcarllee@gmail.com, or text 409-422-7539.